Welcome to the 8:30 show. If you like our content, please feel free to like and subscribe. I'd like to discuss a few things this that's happened this past week, which a lot of it is just insane. First, I want to touch on Peru.
What about Peru?
Peru has been invaded for a month now, for a whole month by alien
Excuse me.
extraterrestrials who are abducting them, and they're calling them pelacara, which is face peeler, and they're basically snatching these people's faces off. There was a video. I don't know how valid that video is because they don't show that kind of thing out here in the US and they like to filter. But it was of a man's body that they pulled out of a lake, and he's missing his face and part of his scalp, like a big part of his scalp. And I don't know how valid that is. I don't know how true that is. Could it be a dummy? Could it be like, I don't know. But it looked like how they do cattle. What is it? I'm sorry, cow mutilations, where they suck the blood out of you, or the cow, not you, the cow, and they just leave it there with nothing, no insides, and that's kind of like what it looked like. But is it true? I don't know. So many videos have come out which irritate me. It's again the grainy videos. They're like, we need to send Peru like better flashlights because their flashlight was just so weak. And again, you don't really see, everybody's like, I think that's it right there, I think that's it, that everybody's trying to grab that one shot of this being. But they got on the Nike Air Force 5000s that let them float and shit, which is, again, it's crazy that this is happening. And another image came out where there's this bright light behind this being, and these people in Peru are terrified because they're being abducted, they're being killed by these invaders. And but it just, it's hard to think that our government's doing that. But after hearing all these disclosures, and um the government within the government, people that are just rogue, what if it's them? What if? And that's what's going on in Peru. I don't know if you've heard anything about it.
I've only seen the stuff that you sent me. I haven't done a really deep dive on it. I did watch this one channel kind of briefly, but it was a live that they did. Um, and so it really didn't go into too much detail about it because it's a live, so they're kind of like bouncing around through the live and like talking to the people that are on the live, and giving them thanks for their super chats and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
then at the same time kind of touching on stuff here and there. So but I didn't get a lot of video or got a lot of commentary about it. um, if you Google it, through Google, it doesn't come up.
No. You have
But
to specifically type in the words.
if you use it, well, if you use a different browser like DuckDuckGo that isn't kind of um, filtered. So if people didn't know, Google and Bing, they kind of filter
Not kind
out
of. They do.
content. Well, they do, but they also bury content, so it's kind of there, but it doesn't come up. You got to go like 10
But
search
that's what I'm saying. You got to.
search pages down to
Yeah.
find it, and
Yeah.
nobody does that. After the second page, nobody's going any further. Um, so I did Google it on DuckDuckGo, and it does come up. But I didn't get a chance to go and really look at it in depth and see. And then I don't see much about it. And apparently, like you said, this has been happening since July
Yeah.
of this year. I did see some of the grainy footage that that you shared with me,
Yeah.
where it was like, um, one of them was apparently it was on a roof or in a tree or something
Yeah,
like
they
that,
was floating in the tree, is what
and
they said,
they're flashing the flashlight like
and they wear shiny suits.
I think they have phone cameras from early 2000s because it's really grainy. So I was hoping that it would get a little bit more traction on social media. Maybe somebody would do one of those enhanced videos like they did for the UFO landing encounter, quote unquote, in Vegas,
Yeah,
where they did with that, where you can kind of see a little better.
enhance,
Yeah, but
enhance.
I haven't seen anything like that at all with this, and I've seen multiple videos that you have shared with me to kind of look at it and
Yeah.
kind of give my perspective on it. But right now, I don't really have much perspective other than I feel if this is real, these people, regardless if it's alien or not. Oh, the other thing I heard was that it was supposed to be some outlaw miners, which I can't believe.
What the fuck is that? I heard about that, but I have no idea what
Yeah.
that means. What is that?
So I guess it's miners, like, people that dig in the ground for precious
But
metals and
extraterrestrial
no,
miners. Oh,
no, human miners. But hear me out before you could interrupt me.
oh,
Human miners.
I
I know,
wasn't. I just
I know.
I'm
It's just a
baffled
look
by
like.
what you just said.
So human
What?
miners, human people, the
Yeah.
outlaw miners, miners that do for precious metal and
Uh huh.
coal and
Uh huh.
whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
so miners, outlaw, and my thing with that is okay. If I am to believe that, from what I understand, these Peruvian villagers have been armed to the teeth and are shooting at them, and they say they disappear like the predator. If this was human beings being shot, I mean, how bad of a shot would these villagers be? Which I would think a villager who lives in the middle of in a village out of main civilization will at least be a little bit more accurate with shooting.
Not unless they're a stormtrooper.
And nobody's been shot, nobody's been killed, and as we know, reported to have been misidentified as some alien creature and
And
was shot.
okay, so these miners, they have the Air Force 5000s on
Yeah.
that make them float and disappear, as
Uh
well
huh.
as shiny suits, and they got the mask, the big head mask,
Uh huh. Uh
alien
huh. That glows.
mask
That
that
glows.
glows.
Only
So
on the eye
how
part.
do they miners have technology like that? Like how? Unless they found the crashed spaceship in the inside of the mountain that they were mining. Like really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Really?
That's the story that
I
I've
have
heard
not.
from.
I heard something to that effect, but I ignored it because it sounded so outlandish.
Yeah, apparently it's coming from. I think it's coming from the government, but I don't know for sure. So don't quote me on that. And if it is coming from the government, I feel
Mm.
like that's a smoke and mirrors thing to slow the news traffic about it. But again, that's just one thing that I've heard that made me look at it like, what are you fucking talking about? The other thing was like all these images. Like I can't. The image that you showed me of the guy being pulled out of the beach with he's just a skull basically.
Yeah,
Okay, I don't know if that's real or not.
that's what I was saying.
It could have been from a Peruvian television show. I just don't know. It just
I don't.
and haven't heard anything else about it.
Mm-mm.
Other than that footage. There's no other footage. There's no other.
It was on. It was on everything on my thing, like on everything. Even not Instagram because Instagram is but TikTok. TikTok
Mhm.
gives us all the info and the feedback and all the stuff. And as soon as I watched it, it was over. Algorithm hit, and
Delete.
yeah, no, not delete. It was just constant.
No, I get it. I
That
get it.
real. And I'm like, okay, well, is this true? Like, is this real? Because it could, like you said, it could have been for a movie. It could have
Or a
been
TV
total
show.
bullshit, or they planted it and like, let's scare them. But what if it was real? What if it was real?
But see, the thing that I have with that claiming to it be, regardless if it's real or fake.
Yeah.
The one thing that I have an issue with is I've only seen that same footage from different spots.
Correct.
What I mean by different spots, I mean different people have talked about it.
Correct.
But it's the exact same footage. There is no other footage
There is.
that I've seen.
I've seen other footage.
So I've seen, yeah, I've seen the same footage over and over again
I saw.
with different people.
I'm not gonna say I've seen all these other. I saw one other footage from that, and it was different. It was from a different angle. It was different.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it was from a distance, and yeah, it was from a different angle, and I did see that because I'm telling you, the algorithm. As soon as I hit that or I watched that first video, that's all I was getting, and I was just getting Peru, 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 and that's why I started looking into it. And I'm like, this has been going on for a whole month. They've been suffering and scared out of their minds of these extraterrestrials, but are they extraterrestrials?
Yeah.
Or is it our government with our technology scaring the bejesus out of somebody or a bunch of people and killing them because they have this new technology? Let's go try it out on them. They're villagers, nobody's gonna give a fuck about them, kind of thing. But I could be way off base, I don't know. I don't have that kind of knowledge, but this is just me guessing as usual.
Well, Peru has a lot of like archaeological history with it. I mean, just look at the Nazca lines. Those weren't drawn. Nobody believes that those were drawn for us to see. They were drawn for the gods to see.
Before planes.
So
it was way before planes.
Yeah, and we really didn't notice what they were until we were able to be a flight bearing civilization.
I think they were discovered in the 50s, I believe, but I'm
saying
sure.
when we were flying at that point, we were flying.
I know. I'm just saying.
And then they have that one that has that mountaintop that's like
flat,
cleared off, and no one knows why it was cleared off. I think they have the other thing where is Machu Picchu in is that in Peru?
I believe it is.
So I mean, they have a lot of rich history.
Well, even the history. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
With the history, they still say before this whole month-long thing happened, they see things out there, and things are constantly happening out there, and they're constantly. It's a constant thing out there. They don't. It's not just like It's a constant thing for them out there. They see a lot of stuff.
I believe it. I mean, I believe that the villagers, at the end of the day, regardless of what it is, I believe these villagers are seeing something that they can't actually identify. Whether it be extraterrestrial, whether it be outlaw miners, whether it be the government. What is that? Is that
that's Machu Picchu?
Yeah, it's in Peru, southern Peru. Sorry for those we can't at this current time show the video that we're looking at or the screen that we're looking at, but we're looking at Wikipedia.
It's interesting.
Machu Picchu.
The map that they show right here, it looks like California, kind of.
Yeah, it does. And if you're not familiar with Machu Picchu, it's pretty interesting place.
Look it up. It's very interesting. It has a rich history. Beautiful place, Peru.
You used to be able to go there as a tourist to look at the place. I think you can't go there anymore.
Oh, really?
Because because of Ancient Aliens and the Ancient Aliens show, it started attracting a lot of visitors there to look at the Machu Picchu location. And filthy humans, we start leaving trash and messing up stuff, and so the government kind of shut that shit down.
I'm glad. I will never get to see it, but you know what? At least it'll be safe from us, who can't throw a piece of paper or a cup in a trash can and decide to just disrespect the land. And it makes me angry that people do that, but whatever,
Well, I think you can still go there, and you can still go to Machu Picchu, but you have to get permission now from the government and its small groups.
Good.
You used to be able to just, go there.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I know.
you know,
Just go.
yeah,
But it's a trek.
yeah.
It's I
You
think they
hire a
even
guide and you guys can go.
don't you have to like don't they give you cocaine leaves?
Yeah, because it's up high in
Yeah,
altitude. Yeah.
interesting.
Get
All
on that
right.
cocaine. One other thing, just
Yeah.
I want to talk about with Machu Picchu and how it's been closed. You know, other places like just south of our border with Mexico, you can't go up to the pyramids like that anymore either. The last person that did it, it was on. Um, it was being shown across the news and social media, and the people practically stoned them for that because they felt
Because
entitled to
it's
run up the pyramid. Yeah,
disrespectful. Yeah.
they felt entitled to run up the up the pyramid. Like, you can go to the plaza of the pyramid and look at it, and there's all this wonder and be like, "Wow, how did they build this? This is magnificent." You know, what a wonder of the world to see that this is here.
Yeah.
But no, this person felt entitled and said, let me just skip my fucking ass up the hill, up this pyramid stairway, and stand at the top of the
Didn't they
pyramid.
like dance or
Yeah.
something?
While the villagers were down there like, yeah, you got to come down.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When you come
I
down, we going to kick
believe
your ass.
I believe the reason that it was closed down and she I remember it was a woman.
Hmm.
She wasn't supposed to do that is because someone fell from up there and they
Yes.
decided, you know what? No. We're going to close it down
Excuse me.
because we don't want that to happen again.
Yeah.
And so I believe she broke the law
Yes, she
while
did.
doing that, but also found it of course everyone there was gonna I found it disrespectful. I'm not Mexican, but I'm Hispanic, and I find it disrespectful for somebody to do that. Like, what's wrong with you? And
I'm not
that's
even
hold on
Hispanic, and
and
I found it disrespectful.
hold on. And what blows my mind is that these people have no regard for, not just for others, but for themselves. Like, let's take, for instance, these idiots taking pictures next to bison as if nothing's gonna happen. What is wrong with you?
Let me
Yeah.
tell you something. Let me tell you something.
And
When it comes to me seeing people doing things with natural wild animals, even animals in the zoo, I do not root for the human. I am always rooting for the animal. I'm rooting for this person not to be killed, not necessarily be killed unless you did some fuck shit to the animal. Then whatever that animal does, that's on you and the animal. You shouldn't have been doing that.
yeah.
But when you're doing something as stupid as, going up to a wild bison and trying to take pictures of it, I hope that I'm rooting for that bison to do something to you so you can learn the lesson the hard way.
Yeah.
Because if your internal spidey senses aren't telling you that this is highly dangerous and I have no idea what this animal is capable of doing to me, a 95% water person,
Yeah.
then so be it. Because I'm here with the popcorn like Michael Jackson in the Thriller video to watch your downfall. And
Yeah.
I am going to laugh. I have no remorse for people that do stupid stuff like that with animals. I have none. Like those young men that were in the San Francisco Zoo throwing rocks at the tiger, and the tiger decided to be a tiger and do tiger shit to them. I have no remorse for that. I don't even think they should have put the tiger down. The tiger did what the tiger was supposed to do. Why are you gonna throw rocks at the tiger? It's already in captivity, pissed off. It's already pissed off. And now you gonna go ahead and want to put the tiger down for being a tiger? Raw motherfucker. You didn't realize the raw motherfucker was there.
Yeah.
So no, I don't feel, only the times I feel bad for people who get attacked by animals are the people that aren't trying to do anything, just minding their own business, running down the trail, and all of a sudden they get attacked. I feel bad for those people
Yeah,
because they weren't
absolutely.
doing anything.
Yeah.
They were minding their own business. They weren't trying to do something to this animal. They didn't realize that they encroached in the animal's territory in some kind of way. They were completely blind and innocent to this. But the ones that ask for it, that's what I consider asking. And you play stupid games, you get stupid rewards. Just like the lady that we saw. I know I'm going on a tangent, but just like that lady we saw, who was at the reserve. argues with her mother and her husband, and then they end up getting out of the car, and the tiger or lion or whatever was like, "Got your ass."
Yeah.
I don't feel any. You knew what you were doing when you drove in there. You knew that it was reserved. That you were there to like look at the animals, maybe feed the ones with the little peanuts and popcorn that you can. But you knew there were predators there.
Yeah.
I don't feel no remorse. I don't play. I don't. Me myself, my Negro senses tingle when I'm around wild animals or around wild things. So yeah, I respect the wild. I don't even care if it's coyotes. I respect the wild. Why? Because I may not be ready to fight off this, and this isn't gonna be a fight to we get tired, or it gets tired, or it's like, oh, you know what? I see you ain't a punk. I'ma leave.
Yeah.
Like that video we saw when you see a bear stand your ground because 90% of the time it's a false charge. A bullshit. A bullshit.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry I had to go on that tangent because it's upsetting to me when I see that. And not upsetting to me for the human, upsetting to me for the animal that it's going to have to attack this human.
Hmm.
So, but anyway, back to what I was saying, or back to what we were saying. As far as like, I don't understand why people get so disrespectful to these ancient monuments. They're there for us at this point for us to wonder and marvel at, not for us to be disrespectful and trash and litter and graffiti these locations.
I agree.
You know,
I just want to touch a little on your animal and the disrespect and all that. I feel the same way. I think I've discussed this before. We've discussed this before that I don't approve of like animal zoos.
yeah,
Excuse me. Zoos or Sea World, that kind of thing. I don't approve of what is it called? They do it in Mexico still with the bull, the running of the
bullfighting.
bullfighting and the running of the bull. I know it's tradition and all that jazz, but for me, it's like I'm rooting for that bull. I'm really rooting for that bull because it's just barbaric what they do, and it's they murder the animal, and it's not like for survival for us to eat food and whatever, not saying like that's great either, but just it's for entertainment, and for me that's just not okay. It's horrible. It's horrible, and don't I I don't like that. And so yeah, I feel the same way you do. Like I'm rooting for that animal to do what it's supposed to do to survive, and then the fact that we go and gun them down because of what they did, like I don't see how that's right, but that's on another topic on
Yeah,
another day.
I
But I
think.
just wanted to touch on that part because of the things that you
No,
had
I know.
said, and I wanted to touch on the bull fighting and the running of the bulls. Like to me, it's just I'm when I watch that and I see the bull come for them, I'm like, yes,
Warn his ass.
yes,
Now,
get that ass.
the bullfighting. The bullfighting. I don't know what they do with the dead bull. I think they do eat that bull.
But they kill it for
No,
entertainment.
I know. I'm just. you said I don't
Okay.
know if
I
they. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm not.
no.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I'm saying I think they do use
End up
the
eating it.
eating it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I not
Um,
no.
and I know like
No.
I know with like some big game hunting, they have to do it because the animal that they're going to put down is actually harming everything else. Like when they had to put down that giraffe, um, because the giraffe was no longer a viable male giraffe and was killing the young males.
I get see, and I get that.
Yeah,
That's I understand why they're doing it. It's
yeah,
a survival thing, like I
they
said,
have to
but
do that.
this is
No, I
not
know, I know.
survival.
I
This
just wanted
is
to make that.
entertainment.
I just wanted to make that. That I just wanted to provide that different setting on
No,
why
I
it
understand.
is.
Hmm.
I agree with you and why I feel that this type of thing is acceptable because this is being done because of a reason, a purpose.
Yeah.
This is being done for entertainment. And I remember back when people got mad that they shot and killed that giraffe, and they hired a hunter. The hunter paid to do it, but that money goes to the reserve to help fund the reserve.
Yeah.
It's part of the economic ecosystem there, and if they didn't let someone pay to kill it, they were gonna still kill it. So they had no choice. It was killing the young, you know.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
Um,
So what you got
we
now?
the next thing I want to talk about was Tiffany Gomas, which is the viral video of her saying, that motherfucker ain't real on the airplane. And she was like, if you guys want to die, that's fine, but I'm getting the fuck out of here. That kind of whatever she said.
Yeah.
I'm not going to verbatim, but she's finally spoken out. She did a video and it's up on TMZ, where she's apologizing for her behavior.
Yeah.
She's apologizing for doing what she did, for her language to the people who had kids there,
I get
and
that.
all of that stuff. But in that video, nowhere does she discuss what she saw, what happened, the experience. It's kind of like, and I get, some people want to move on, but I I don't feel like people are going to allow her to move on until she gives an explanation on what she saw and what her experience was.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people were very concerned for her. And, of course, all these stories came out afterwards. Like, no one can find her. No
Mm-hmm.
one can, and there, I saw recently another video, which I've never seen before, but it's her. And she's in, outside of the plane. They took her off and all of that. And there's a cop there and she's talking to someone's recording, and she's like, do not let that plane leave. I want to know what happens to that plane. Do not let that plane leave. And she's crying. She's like, I'm serious. And I'm curious, what did she see? I'm very curious to know what was her experience that she has not brought up or discussed.
Yeah.
And in that, I watched the apology, and that's great. I understand you did that in front of kids. Excuse me. You did that in front of a lot of people, and it wasn't okay, and all of that, and you regret it. And but what did you see? Nowhere in that video do you say, or does she say, I saw this. This is what happened, and this is what made me react the way that I did. And that's what I'm curious about. That's why
Yeah.
I'm glad that she came out, if if that video's real, cuz we've got AI now who, like, did you see the videos of Morgan Freeman dancing?
Yeah, I sent it to
Yeah,
you.
like, come
Morgan
on.
Freeman, Denzel, and some others.
The
So
masks that these people put on
I got a
to
question.
pretend to be other people, that kind of thing. Go ahead, sorry.
No, that's cool. I have a question. Do you think that maybe the video that you shared it with me, we watched it with her just giving the apology. You think that maybe that video was cut where she talks about that, and maybe TMZ does have that other side when they
It's
talk to her.
possible.
Um, and I do know that from watching that video, I guess she's got like a website and some thing going on with her.
Yeah.
I don't know what that
Well,
is.
that was the girl that was in TMZ that said that. Um,
But I am curious to know why she said what she said. There's never been any footage of the actual
no.
back of the plane where she was at.
The video that did come out was not from that flight.
Correct. It was
So,
totally different
totally
crew,
different. Yeah.
different
Everything.
uniforms were
The whole
different,
thing
yeah.
was bullshit.
So I'm curious to know why she said what she said. Whether she was. I've heard that people said that she was under the influence, but regardless,
I thought she was drunk when I first saw that video. I was like, this bitch.
yeah.
And then, I'm wrong. According to other people, she was not drunk. She was sober. She was freaked out.
Yeah, and
And
those are from people that seen her before the flight. I do have one thing to say. You know, if someone jumps up and says, you know, there's no phalanges on the plane, I'm probably gonna get off the plane with them. Not
Yeah.
because I believe them, but because what's going on.
Yeah.
I can take another flight.
Yeah. I would like an explanation, probably won't get it, but I would like
Yeah,
one because that was viral. That went viral. And everybody is questioning like what actually happened. And what did she see? What was her experience? Regardless of whatever she's saying, what was the experience? And
yeah.
that it seems like either we're not going to get it or she's waiting to be paid to give that story because
Hmm.
I would. You gonna have to pay me for that.
So I
I'm
feel
not
like,
just gonna voluntarily give you this information.
yeah.
Pay me.
So I feel like that's what she's doing. Like
Yeah.
she's gonna,
Shopping around maybe.
yeah, shopping a deal to get her side of the
Yeah.
story, and that's good for her. Make some money, I guess. You know, I'm just,
For her
yeah,
experience, but I'd
but
like to know what the experience
for,
is.
yeah, for me, it's just I fuck all that. Let's, you know,
Yeah.
spill it,
No, I get
or
that.
somebody spill it. Who was sitting next to her? Like,
Well, that guy came out and he said that he was there and
yeah,
that he even spoke to the or like made eye contact with the guy and that at the time he didn't notice that the way he blinked his eyes were not like how we blink up and down but side to side,
hmm,
and that's it wasn't until after the fact that he was like, wait a minute. But I don't know. Like I really don't know. And that's basically become the question mark
yeah,
is what happened?
and
And inquiring minds want to
that's
know.
what I was gonna say too. And the other thing, like, okay, so if that motherfucker's not real, as she said,
Yeah.
what was he? How come nobody else seen this? Why was nobody else concerned on the plane that was sitting around this people? Because let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. If I'm sitting on a plane and somebody a row ahead of me or a row behind me freaks out about somebody not being real, me just being nosy, I'm gonna look at the motherfucker that they talking about like, are you real? Who are you? You know what I mean? But no, like there was no pandemonium from anybody around her.
No, because you sound crazy saying something like that.
Yeah,
No,
but
hold
aren't you
on.
gonna
Hold on.
look?
No, no, wait. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, no, no. I was gonna say, but aren't you gonna look? You wouldn't look at that person?
I don't know. After this, probably, but before that, probably not.
Oh, I'm
And
looking.
so what I was gonna say was that so many people have misbehaved on airplanes
Hmm.
in these past years, since phones came out, and we're constantly seeing people having meltdowns in the airplane because I don't know if they didn't take their meds. Maybe they took their meds and they mixed it with alcohol. Maybe they're just
Correct.
drunk.
Hmm.
Maybe they're just having a psychotic break thinking, I'm in a tube with a bunch of people and we're about to be in the sky and there's no way out. Because I've had that thought.
No, I get it.
And it can that thought I really think can break someone. And so so we as a people, I feel, are like, we've seen these videos, we know these people are somewhat not well, and maybe that's what was going on with her. And when she left, someone even said bye because they wanted her gone. They didn't care enough to see what she was talking about. They thought she was some loon trying to get off the plane. So not every, like I told you, remember we discussed about the camera, and everybody, you're like, why not the, take video and blah blah blah, and I'm like, yeah, but you got someone who doesn't really take pictures that often. When you do, they're not great.
Yeah.
And then there's the person that always takes pictures and like gets everything. Same thing here. It's not the video or a picture, it's the concern or the care. And a lot of people don't want to get involved because they got somewhere to be. And what she's doing is delaying that. And they don't care about whatever she's going through. So that's how I look at it. And that's why I feel that people didn't get involved. And the ones who did get involved, apparently it wasn't too much involvement. And I think the people, the employees of the airplane were like, let's shut this down real quick.
No, I get all that, but I'm not talking about all the other people on the plane. I'm talking about the people in the immediate, excuse me, in the immediate
Vicinity
vicinity
of.
of that, of
No, I get
her
that.
and this person that she was sitting
Again,
next to.
don't care enough.
The person directly in front of them, the
Yeah.
person or people directly behind them, and the people directly to the side of them.
Yeah.
I know if this was me and I'm sitting there and I see all this starting to transpire and go down, I'm going to be looking to see what's going on. Why? I'm going to be in the air with these people.
Yeah.
I need to know, are they stable? Are they going to try to make a run for the cockpit, or are they going to try to make a run for the emergency door and try to open it up? Because things like this have
No,
happened in the past.
absolutely.
So yes, I'm going to be looking at them with the suspect eyes from the side, like, is this motherfucker real? Why is she tripping? Why is she tripping out? Okay, let me look at him. What's up with him?
Yeah.
Her, not so much. She's on one. Let me see what's up with him. How is he reacting to all this? What is he doing? Not that I may whip out a camera and start taking footage. Not necessarily that, but just what's going on. Why is this? And you would think as viral as it's gone, those people would have came out and said, you know what, other than the one guy who he wasn't even sitting next to them, he was sitting up near the front of the plane, I guess, where they were sitting near the back, where he said this is what happened and blah 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 blah. So that's what I'm saying. Why haven't there been any other people from that flight that's
So,
come out to say, even if it's in a text, like a, a tweet, Facebook post, you don't hear any of that.
okay.
It's interesting. Sorry.
So many moons ago, and I hope you don't mind I'm bringing this up, but it's to my point. Many moons ago, Dave and I were in, I don't want to say involved, but we were. Um, we were at a bank and it got robbed. Um, there were two people ahead of us in line. It was a long line, and we were two people away from going to the teller. Every teller was full. There's a front door and a back door to the bank. David's in his own world, not paying attention to what's going on. Me, I'm watching everything because I kind of do that. And I see this person just walk from the front door to the last teller that's by the back door and stand behind the woman that's there. And I'm like, oh, hell no. Did he just cut in front of all of us? This long, and no one is paying attention. No one there is looking at what he just did but me. I'm the only one that noticed this man. Then the woman leaves. He goes to the teller, and I'm pissed because, again, we've been standing there for 20 minutes and we're two people away. And he just walks in and goes to the teller. So I'm angry. Dave is still in his doing whatever, not even on his phone because I don't even think smartphones were invented yet.
They were, but I think only people that had them were Blackberries, so
Whatever.
not much you could do
It
with
doesn't
them.
matter. It doesn't matter. But we didn't have smartphones. We didn't. We had cell phones, but they were flip phones still. And so I don't know what David's doing, but he's not focused on that. I'm focused, laser focused. And I'm watching the man, and he sticks his hand in his back pocket and he tells the woman, give me all the money. And, or what did he say? He goes, give me all the money or I'll blow your fucking face off, is what he said, and pretended to have a gun in the back of his pocket. Of course, she freaked out and gave him whatever money she's supposed to give because they're all trained to do whatever for a robbery. She's behind plexiglass, but you know, you still get scared. And so the guy takes off. And as he's saying this, David is very tall, so I come to like right below his shoulders and I'm pulling on his arm. I'm like, David, the guy's robbing the bank. He's robbing the bank. No one saw it but me. No one was paying attention to this man. No one, even the people that were standing in or right behind him in line, they didn't hear anything. Nothing. I'm the only one that caught him robbing the bank. So, to my point, people on the airplane are thinking she's crazy. They're not going to videotape it. Some people aren't into that. Some people want anonymity. Some people are listening to their headphones and turn the volume up like, I don't want to hear this shit, you crazy person. So they don't pay attention. And even though you and I are like-minded in so many ways, there are other ways that we're not. And in this instance, yeah, I would have been very curious and I would have been watching. Would I been recording? Not necessarily, because I don't want to be like everybody else and get caught filming. You know, some people don't care. They have no regard. It's fine. That's on you, you know. But me, myself, I'm not quick to push that button. I'll watch first. Now, if I have to record, then I will. But I won't, you know, and that's, you know, it's just, and it's also has to do with how you feel in that moment. What is the vibe that's going on? You know, sometimes you feel like you need to stand up and do something, and other times you just don't. You watch and you say, you know what? I don't want to be a part of this. And you just turn away. And I think a lot of us do that because we also feel that maybe someone else will help her, not me.
And I get all that. And I get that, you know, people aren't necessarily quick to film. I get all that. I'm just saying that there's been no other people valid to come out from this story to say anything. Not the stewardess, not there was apparently some attorney lady that was on there saying that
Yes.
I'm an attorney, I'm a licensed attorney, which
Yeah, I saw.
to me is stupid that you're telling people just because you're a
Well, we don't know
hold
what
on,
they. Oh,
just
sorry.
because you're a licensed attorney doesn't mean that you're a licensed attorney in the state that they're going to or coming from. You know what I mean?
No,
Uh,
I do know what you mean, but I didn't hear whatever the person said to her for her to respond like that. I don't know what they said to her for her to say that.
yeah.
She didn't just say it to say it. She said it because someone said something to her. She's like, I'm an attorney. And they said something, and she said, I am a licensed attorney. So they said something to spark her to do that, to
No,
say that.
and I understand that, but I'm just saying like there's no other people that have come out on this plane saying anything.
No, absolutely.
You know, not even the guy that blinks his eyes to the side.
Yeah.
He hasn't even come out and said it was me. Look at this, check it out, blink, blink. You know,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I feel that what we saw on TMZ that you showed me, I feel that that may be um, not so much the full situation. That was just
Are we
cut
going through the
to it.
false flag right now? Is that what we're going through? Is that what we're starting to see, the false flag happening with all these people and all these different things in different countries to, you know, the smoke and mirrors for us not to see that, you know, World War III is about to take place? Like, is that what we're seeing? Because according to the disclosure with Dr. Greer, they're not hostile. These extraterrestrials are not hostile. So who's being hostile? And I feel like we are very human beings are very hostile.
Well, regardless of the false flag or not false flag,
Mm-hmm.
whatever she saw, that motherfucker wasn't real. And whatever she said on TMZ, that was just an apology for her actions on, I feel, how she carried herself
No, I
on
agree.
that. And she did not speak on anything relative to that video other than, I'm sorry I cursed. I'm
Yeah.
sorry that I was emotional.
Yeah.
So to me, that's, she could have kept that. I mean, it's been long gone
No,
time
yeah.
since she,
Yeah, it's been a minute.
no, no apology is necessary at this point. You know what I mean? The apology to me is more for her own self
Yeah.
benefit, not for anyone else's. Um, Especially that she went for like, I think, a month or so before even coming up. I
Yeah.
mean, she said, I've heard things that her social media has been all destroyed and this and that. I don't know.
Mm.
My point to that is, I don't know if this is real. I don't know if she was drunk. I don't know if she was under the influence. I don't know if she had medication issues and hallucinated something. I don't know.
No, I get that.
She did not discuss that in that video. Whereas when I look at the video from around the same time, which was the Las Vegas incident, where they landed in this dude's backyard, he comes out immediately and he's saying, "Oh, this is what happened. This is what it is, and this is what it was."
And then people are saying that they disappeared, and he came out and
But
was like, "Nope, we still here."
we also, yeah, and we also have corresponding video from body cam footage showing that
Something
something,
landed.
well, regardless of something landed, something did occur in the sky at
Yeah.
that same, around that same time that this interaction happened.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was a landing or not a landing, we see clear video evidence in this body cam footage that something flew through the sky.
Yeah.
Um, so with that video, it's like, at this point, I don't want to hear the apology. I want to know what the hell you saw. Tell me what you saw, then apologize later.
CCC. Yeah,
So
I agree. Let's move on.
yeah,
Alabama,
Alabama.
that's you.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna go too deep into Alabama. This is just kind of a week in review wrap up type of thing, because there's not really much going on in the news. But Alabama, the cheering incident. um, the memes have been great.
Yeah.
The all the videos of people with chairs, and
Mm-hmm.
I seen one where the guy had a chair like a holster. I seen another guy, he put his chair on top of his SUV and had it strapped down and was driving that the riverboat with with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman in the sky laughing. The memes have been glorious.
That video we saw where they did recap, like, or not a recap, but a remake of Friday when he pulls out the gun
Oh
and he
yes.
pulls out the chair, and the dad's like, "This is all you need." Like, that was good.
um, so there's a lot to that story. Apparently that was, the riverboat's second in command to the captain of the ship, second mate. He went there to try to move the boat, to get these people to move this boat, and these people, from my understanding that I'm hearing, retaliated with racial epithets and slurs, and
Shocking.
yeah, and next thing it started going down, and you know, I was I thought it was hilarious that that these people, white people, tried to jump on this guy, and at the same time, it kind of made me proud to see black people come to his aid and attack him, regardless of the cheering situation.
Yeah.
That was just icing on the cake for me. But we saw Aquaman, the Black
Yeah.
Aquaman. He swam across the river. I don't
Yes,
know
he
where he
did.
came from. I don't
He
know if he
came
came
off the
from the
other boat.
riverboat or
He came
what.
off the riverboat. Because you
Next,
see him in the video before when he starts singing, and then when he threw his hat up, it was like
yes,
instant.
he threw that hat up like it was a flare to Wakanda.
But they're saying that that's a thing from the South.
Yeah, it is. It is a thing from the South. But it was one of those things where it's one of those things you never see, but you hope to see, and then when you see it as a black person, you're like, yes.
It's justice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was like, don't get me wrong, I'm not condoning violence, but when I condone violence, it's fitting for the situation. You know,
Mm-hmm.
this man doing his job. Man, this man is doing his job. And these people felt the entitlement to think that they can just, that it was 1806 and they could just treat this man like any old
I'm
man.
sure alcohol played a big part in
That's
that.
no
No, no,
excuse.
no. I I wasn't saying that.
No, I know, but it's no
No,
excuse.
absolutely not.
Um,
Can I just
no, go ahead.
real quick. I feel that if you can't control your alcohol, you shouldn't drink. Um, there's no excuse. It's like, oh, I was drunk. That's not an excuse. It's not okay to be violent towards anybody, to call them out of their name, or be, what is it, a racist, blatant
Hmm.
racist, and oh, it's because I was drunk. That's not an excuse. Like, if you can't compose yourself, control yourself while you're drinking, then maybe you just shouldn't drink. Period. You
So,
catch me next week beating somebody up. I'm drunk. No, I'm just kidding.
so my thing is with that whole thing, like, oh, they were drunk, and let me tell you something: when you drink and you come up with racial slurs to use against someone else in that moment, that's because actually you are a racist.
Yeah.
And what you are actually doing while you're sober is suppressing that
Yeah.
because you know it's not okay.
Yeah.
But alcohol, like I've always heard, makes you tell the truth.
Yes.
So if you said it while you were drunk, it's what you feel in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, that hat went in the air as the bat signal in the sky, and they came with authority
Yeah, they
to
did.
kick some ass.
They really
And
did.
the nail in the coffin was the cheering of all those white folks on the dock in a historic slave trading area. How hilarious was that?
Yeah.
What is it? Regardless if those people come from families that own slaves or not, how hilarious, how ironic is that?
Mm-hmm.
It was priceless. So let me tell you something. The Uncle Murder rap wrap up of the year for 2023 is gonna be great. I can't wait for this. All the other stuff I don't even care about. I want to hear him talk about the cheering in Alabama.
Yeah. That was it
uh,
was very it was very hard to watch for me because I think it's horrible that we're still living in that kind of mindset. Um I mean, I speak on it all the time because your people, my people, Asian people were discriminated on still. And for that to happen, it blows my mind. And it was hard to watch because they actually thought it was okay to put hands on this man while he was doing his job. And
because that was entitlement.
they really tapped into the slave traders and sellers that used to be on there selling these poor people. And it
They
makes
learned that day.
it makes me sad, though. It makes me sad that we're still there. I'm glad that we do have people who are white and are on our side and who love
Hmm.
us and cheer for us and root for us. But it's those other people that it just, they still think that way.
So, in conclusion to that,
Yeah.
when you fuck around and you see the hat go in the air, you're about to find out.
Yeah. For sure.
So what else? The
Tory
next
Lanez.
Tory Lanez. So I don't have much to say about Tory Lanez, but I do have this to say. You are Tory Lanez is an idiot for going to trial. Um, Nigga, you shot somebody. There has been historically only one person that has got away with shooting somebody and didn't go to jail, and his name is Dick Cheney. He shot his attorney accidentally, quote unquote. Tory, you are not that person. You should have took the deal from the beginning. Yes, you're not going to do the full 10 years, even though you have time served. You're still going to get off with something else, get off on something else that's going to cut your time down. I hope you learned your lesson that you can't just go around shooting people thinking that you're a celebrity. I have, I feel no remorse for your actions. Um, that's all I have to say about that. You have anything to say?
No, no comment.
um, I hope he does do his time, get out, and continue to be successful. I think he's a talented young man and artist in that regard, but make better choices in life.
I know who he is only because of what happened. Um, Other than that, I have no idea what his music sounds like. I don't know anything about him.
Yeah,
I all I know is that supposedly he shot a woman in her feet,
he Harlem Night Megan Thee
and
Stallion.
yeah, yeah, he did, and well, I didn't even think about that. And when she told her story, because I follow her, and when I saw her tell her story, um, I I I really looked at her for what she was, and she was someone's kid that's got shot, and she looked like a child when she told her story. Which whoever her PR people are, way to go, because that honestly really tugged on the heartstrings for me. I looked at her like that could be my kid, and I wouldn't want somebody doing that to anyone's child. And her parents are both passed away, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
And for some person to do that, because did he do it? I don't really know. I didn't follow it. um I don't want to doubt that. I don't want to doubt her, because I really believe what she said. And why would she make that up? But people do things and for their own reasons. But I hope she can heal from this. I hope that she can move on from
Mhm.
this at some point. Eventually, she's gonna have to face it again, because she had to face it during trial, and
Yeah.
in the news, and I'm sure it pops up on her feed and whatever, and she hates it. And I feel for her. Like, I really looked at her like she's just a kid compared to me. I'm 45. She's 20 something, early 20s. So yeah, I look at her as a kid. And to go through that by herself, like, yeah, she has a team, but we're her parents.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what's missing in her life. And it just makes me sad for her that someone did that to her. And him, I really don't have anything to say, because again, he in my book is an unknown. He's a nobody. So
So, moral of the story: you shoot somebody, do your time.
yeah,
Don't try to take it to court, especially if they're going to testify. Don't be an idiot.
no,
Um, and ultimately, don't shoot anybody, especially a woman. I mean, there's no. I mean, I followed the case.
yeah,
Both sides had their discrepancies in what they're saying.
yeah,
Um, but you know, eventually, this woman is claiming that she shot him. They have the evidence to go with that, and if they're going to trial, you are going to do some time. You can't just go and shoot somebody and they testify and you're just going to walk away. You are not the vice president.
no, I know.
You are not Dick Cheney. Shotgun Dick is what they call him. You are
Oh my
not.
god. All right, let's move on to Lizzo.
So another story that came out around, this week or past week,
Entertainment.
entertainment, was Lizzo. She has some ex backup dancers charging a lawsuit against her for whatever defamed, derogatory, whatever they
For
got going on,
mistreatment is what I
mistreatment.
read,
Yeah,
that she body shamed them and that she was
yeah,
they're claiming she was horrible to them.
yeah. All of this, and one of the things that came out about this was that she took them to this exotic club, strip club, whatever it is in Amsterdam on the tour, where you eat a banana out of the stripper's vagina. And
What?
apparently, yeah, and apparently, what they're claiming part of in their lawsuit, part of their lawsuit is that um, she basically enforced that they had to do that. How she enforced it, I don't know. I didn't read the full
You're
article. This
fired if you don't
is
do
yeah.
it. Wow.
But yeah, again, I don't know how that was said. I don't know how it was
No, no,
laid
no, no.
out,
Absolutely.
the
I don't know
the
either. I'm just
details, but
assuming
yeah.
based off of what you just said.
Yeah, but
That's all I'm saying.
that's the low down dirty of it. That yeah, you don't do this, you're gonna be
I guess
fired.
I'm fired, bitch.
Yeah. Now
I guess we done.
I do understand. Like some people were saying that she was body shaming them because they aren't allowed to gain weight while on tour. But see, I kind of understand this because it's part of your job to not gain weight because of whatever outfits that
No, absolutely.
they're wearing. So that part I had the
But
problem with.
how was it said?
I don't know. So,
That's
but
that's
this is what I've
probably
heard.
the issue.
But this is what I've heard through the rumor mill of this kind of
Yeah.
thing was that the body shaming part was that she was told that they were told that they can't gain weight while they're on tour. But it's for me, it's kind of like you get hired to put it like this: the NBA, most sports agencies have a code of conduct.
Yeah.
You can't act a certain way. You can't do certain things because of the code of conduct that you signed. To me, that's no different than if you're a dancer and you have a weight conduct. You can't go above this weight, and you can't go below this weight because these are the reasons
Is
why.
that why they're suing? Because they gained a pound or two? Is that what's happening?
No, this is all encompassed in this lawsuit.
So
The vagina incident,
no, no, no. I
the
get that.
weight loss,
Hmm.
all of it.
No, I understand. What I'm asking you though is that what's being said, that
They
they're
gained weight.
hold on, they're suing because they gained a couple pounds and you know
That's
they got
part of it.
fired.
Yeah,
Did they get fired?
yeah, they got. I don't know if they got fired for that specific reason,
But
or
they did get
but
fired.
they did ultimately
Okay,
get
so
fired. But
hold on.
what the
Let me.
specific is,
Can
I
I
don't know.
ask the questions though?
Yeah,
Like you're
yeah.
not letting me talk at all.
Go ahead.
I'm still asking questions here. Um, because of what you're saying. And you're saying that because I don't know this story at all. I don't really don't know. Like I'm shocked that you're over here talking about that they had to eat a banana out of somebody's vagina. Like, what are you talking about? That's insane. I would never do that for anybody. I don't care who's paying me. Like, there's no way I'm doing that for any amount of money or even for free. Um, yeah, no. And in regards to why they're suing her, I'm just trying to get the facts here on why they're suing her. Is it because they gained a couple pounds and she was like, "You're done here, you're fired," or is it because they got fired and now they're pissed off that she fired them off her tour, and they thought they had a job and now they ain't got no job, so now they're like, "Well, let's milk her for all she has," type of thing. And this is why we're suing her. Or was she a complete piece of shit and body shamed them for real, like, you guys are fat as fuck and blah blah blah, and you're worthless, or whatever she said. I don't know, I wasn't there. I'm asking these questions because I have no idea. What is this lawsuit about? What is this all about? You get what I'm saying?
Um,
Like, is she really that bad of a person? And I'm sorry, I would just expect her not to be, especially coming from the fact that she was homeless and living in her car, and now she's this, big star. And to treat people that way, like you weren't humbled enough when you were homeless. So
okay, so
sorry.
all of this is part of a wrongful termination suit.
Okay.
How they got fired, what transpired,
Mm-hmm.
the actual specifics of why Lizzo said you're done,
Yeah.
that hasn't been acknowledged
Got
yet.
it.
What they're claiming is this: we couldn't gain weight or we'd be fired.
Mm-hmm.
We had to eat the banana out the vagina or we'd be fired, amongst some other like caveats to this lawsuit. But
Yeah.
these are the big hitters that have come out. Lizzo saying, I don't know about the weight thing, but what I've heard Lizzo or Lizzo's people saying that no, the whole vagina thing that wasn't enforced. We went there. We took them all out. We talked about going there prior. We went to go have a good time. I was going to do it, and if they wanted to do it too, they could, but I wasn't enforcing them to eat the vagina out the tailpipe.
Okay.
I mean, the banana out the tailpipe. So,
No, I
but
got what you meant.
yes,
It's just.
so
Mm.
that's that. It's still ongoing. Not too many more facts have come out about it, but I thought it was interesting
Okay.
I thought the interesting part was I don't care about the weight thing. That you're a dancer. I'm sure you have a code of ethics and
Mm-hmm.
a code of weight that you have to maintain while you're on tour.
Okay.
It's not like you're doing a show. It's not, a show here and that's it, or a show there and that's it. You're on a tour going around either the country or countries performing. So, yeah, I get it. There's a code of ethics and probably a weight requirement that you must stay within during the tour
Yeah.
because of it's a
No, and I
tour.
get that. I
And
get
they
that,
may
but
not,
there's a way of going about it.
yeah, and they may not have the ability to hire other backup dancers that's going to fit in the outfit in a moment's notice. You know
No,
what I mean?
absolutely.
If you
I
get
think.
sick, that's one thing.
Mm,
You know.
mhm, mhm.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I think that it's is possibly a money grab, and they're like, "Fuck it, let's do it together. We all got fired. Let's get our money, and that way we
Hmm.
can move on to the next project." And because people think like that.
No, absolutely. So I just that story is still kind of developing. I just thought it was interesting.
Hmm.
The whole what's come out from it, that whole situation. I'm not a big fan of Lizzo or her music. I don't really know her. I'm kind of the same way with her with Tory Lanez for you.
Yeah,
Um,
same. I don't listen to her music. I only know about her because I follow, certain social media like the Shade Room,
News
how
outlets, yeah,
Hollywood Unlocked, I then they post that stuff. Other than that, I really don't like I don't follow her.
yeah.
I don't know her music. Again, it's kind of hard for music to be slipped in, new music to be slipped in. It happens, but it's kind of hard because I don't listen to the radio and I don't watch a lot of TV like that. And yeah, so I only know who she is. I only know about a lot of artists because of social media.
Yeah.
I don't, I've never said, oh, let me go listen to their music. It's very rare for me to say that. But in regards to her, she's made a splash on line, not just for her music and her talent, but because she's not ashamed of showing her body. And it seems to bother a lot of people when big women show off their body.
So I know of her not because of her music, because of her antics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care that she wants to show off her body.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whatever you're comfortable with,
Yeah.
enjoy. Um, I really found out about her when she wore the assless I think spandex or jeans to a
Mm-hmm.
Lakers game, and I
Mm.
thought that was inappropriate. I not because she's a big girl,
Oh yeah.
but just because I feel that
Just
that's a
because it's inappropriate.
it's or inappropriate because that's a family
But no, but
environment.
but at this
But
point in
those are my
time,
morals.
no, I understand, and that's what I was gonna speak on. Is at this point in time, no one cares
Yeah.
what anybody thinks. They're gonna wear what they're gonna wear. At the way a lot of women, not all women, a lot of women dress nowadays is nothing left to the imagination. And I'm not saying they can't wear it. I'm saying that's just what it is.
Yeah. No,
That's the
absolutely.
world we're living in now, where the strip, remember when it used to be strippers that dress like that?
Hmm.
Nothing against the stripper. I have a lot of friends who used to be strippers, but they used to dress like that at the strip club. And now it's to go shopping at the supermarket.
Yeah.
And now it's to go to the mall or to go out to dinner. There was one girl who got shamed all over the internet for wearing an inappropriate dress to the movies. I don't see the issue, like, for how she was dressed. It was backless. Like, if that's how she wanted to go out with her man, that's how she wanted to go out with her man. But you make a great point about there's children there, but I guess it just depends. I don't want to sit here and restrict women on what they wear or what they should or should not do, excuse me, out in the public, because we'll go to the beach and a woman's in a bikini and nobody bats an eye. But when we're out in the open, like, let's just say this said bikini person decides to go to the supermarket uh, on the other side of the street where the beach is, and she walks in and everybody's just staring at her, and it's like, oh my God, how dare she walk around like that? But she just did it at the beach. So it's kind of,
No, I get that. You make a valid point. I'm just saying when
there's an
there's an
appropriate.
appropriate
Yeah,
place for certain
absolutely. I
outfits,
hear
and
you.
I'm not saying that women or men can't wear what they want to wear because I honestly don't care what you want to wear,
Yeah.
but I think at certain settings where it's more family oriented, like a basketball game, um, sporting events like that,
Yeah.
where it's more family oriented, where there's going to be a lot of children.
Yeah, but people don't care.
Um,
People like to be disrespectful,
well,
and
I don't think it's
people
so much that people want to be disrespectful. I think it's more that people want attention and are knowing what they're
and
wearing
will
when they
be
go.
disrespectful to get it.
No, I get your point then. Yeah. Going if you want to wear that type of thing to the club,
Yeah.
more if you want to wear that on a date, uh, more fun for you. If you want
Yeah,
to wear it
no.
to the beach, you want to wear it to any other setting, great. I don't care,
Yeah.
But that's how I found out about Lizzo was I saw that and I was like, she shouldn't be wearing that. And it wasn't because of her size. It had everything to do with I looked at the environment that she's in and it's like that's kind of inappropriate for that environment. But if you got in like that, then who am I to say that's inappropriate?
Yeah.
Um, if they don't have a dress code that says otherwise, then there's nothing I can say about that.
All right.
But that's my knowledge of Lizzo's current lawsuit. And in conclusion, I want to just switch it over to what's been going on in close to our neck of the woods, relatively. Um, the big wildfires that have gone on in Hawaii, Maui specifically, and I just want to send my condolences to the people on that island
Mm-hmm.
that is experiencing this wildfire tragedy. Because this fire is pretty insane and intense on what's going on. There's been quite a few deaths. I believe the last time we saw it was up in the 90s.
Oh, really? The
Yeah.
last time I looked, it was like 55.
No, I think it's in the 90s
Oh,
right
well,
now. I think I
we'll
want to
see.
say 96, but I don't want to misquote the number. Um, again, my condolences to these people, to their families, to those that have lost someone, to those that have lost everything, lost their lives, livelihood, lives, all
Yeah.
their personal effects. The fact that these people had to evade the fire, had to jump into the ocean, says a lot.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, we experience wildfires out here in California as well, where we live at. Um, but we're not on an island, and I feel it's a very tragic situation. Um, these people who are going to survive this going forward, um, you know, they're gonna be dealing with a lot of grief and heartache over the loss of not just their family members if any of them passed away, but just rebuilding their lives from there,
No, absolutely.
trying to continue on. So I just wanted to briefly say, from the 8:30 show, our condolences. And that's kind of it. I don't know if you had anything to add to
Me and my conspiracy mind.
that.
Um, yeah, I do. I feel so bad for all of them. I think it's horrible. Um, I can't imagine in a blink of an eye losing so many homes, people, like all just there was a tree that's been there forever is completely gone.
Hmm.
Um uh Stores, restaurants, it's just wiped out.
Yeah.
Completely wiped out. But here's the conspiracy for me. What happened? And how fast did it happen for cars to be incinerated that fast? Because it's not just gonna leap from car to car. Um, they're saying it's lightning strikes, wind, and what is it? Dry vegetation. Um, but how does it leap from car to car on the road? It was too fast. Like it moved really fast for these people to jump in the water to save themselves. How? I've seen fires here, and we don't have lightning strikes like that, but we do have wildfires, and they do get out of control. But in the amount of time that it happened for them, and I just, it makes me very curious to know what happened. Now, of course, there's a picture of this like beam that goes down on the island. Is it real? Is it not? I don't know, but nowadays, we all have surveillance cameras that have clouds, and you can go into that website to look for your video and all of that. So I'm curious to know if anyone's going to release those type of videos once they're able to. Um, my heart goes out to them because what if this was just some test or experiment and this is what they decided to do and all these people suffered from it? But that's just me and my conspiracy mind. How did it happen so fast? How is it that, the fire was so quick to burn every single car and you had to jump in the ocean to save your own life? Like that just blows my mind. So that's all. That's what I
I
have
don't.
to say.
Yeah, I don't know how it was started specifically. As far as the movement, if there's enough
Wind.
dry vegetation fuel to the fire,
Yeah.
I can see it moving pretty fast. And then if you have strong enough winds, I mean, we have the Santa Ana winds out here, and when the fires do start, and those winds are kicking, those fires are moving
Yeah.
pretty quickly through that
I
dry
mean, we've seen
vegetation.
it.
Yeah.
We've seen the
So
405 on fire. We've seen it.
yeah.
But
So
hold on. Sorry. I'm sorry.
so I think that what I feel like is the people of the island haven't experienced something like this before.
Yeah.
Didn't think that it probably could happen to them
Yeah.
because it is Hawaii. They are pretty tropical in weather.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that they had dry vegetation like that because when we went, everything was green and
Green.
it.
Green
So
because it's moist there.
yeah,
It stays moist.
so in that sense, if they did have that, I mean, we were on a different island, but if they did have that kind of dry vegetation, I can actually totally see that
Yeah.
not having the ability because you
No, but
don't
that's just
experience
that's
those
why I
type
said
of.
it's just me and my
Yeah,
conspiracy mind.
I mean,
I take it there.
we over here in California we experience wildfires every year. They barely probably have a fire, so they don't have the resources set for
And they're on an
wildfires, and
island.
they are on an island. So I can totally
Yeah.
see it.
Absolutely.
I totally see this being what is it, a toxic combination
Yeah.
for an event to go this way.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I saw that picture that you showed me of the beam. I don't really know about that.
That's what I was saying. I don't know if
I
that's
don't
real.
believe it. Like I need more conclusive evidence for that. As far as a lightning strike and that happening, yes, I we get that out here and it's happened. We've even had our own power lines
Struck by
degrade and
lightning.
cause wildfires.
Yeah.
So yes, that is to me that is a possibility. That's
Just
more to me. That's more of a likely
but
possibility than
I
not.
I guess I'm one of those I got to see it to believe it, you know?
Yeah,
But I don't want to see that. That
yeah.
was horrible. I feel for them. I'm so sorry.
So in conclusion, yeah,
My
our
condolences.
condolences to the
Yeah.
families, um, and to the people that are gonna have to continue on after this and rebuild their lives.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah.
All right, and I think that wraps it up for us.
If you've listened this far along, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Comment if you like, and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.